Good afternoon, Madam Chair, Ranking Member Joyce, Representative Kilmer. My name is John Rumpler, and I'm Senior Attorney and Clean Water Program Director for Environment America. Madam Chair, if I can indulge for just a moment, I just want to recall of all the elected officials that I have ever had the privilege to hear speak on the importance of clean water, when you and I shared a stage in March of 2014, 200 plus people on a hearing on the Clean Water Rule in St. Paul. You were the one who, better than anyone, captured what clean water means for America, for our ecosystem, and our citizens, and I remember it to this day.
Thank you.
I'm here to testify in support of dramatic increases that are urgently needed in the Clean Water State Revolving Fund and the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund. As a national organization working to protect the places we love and promote core environmental values, Environment America believes that we have to fund the water infrastructure that our environment deserves and our health demands. And as a citizen-based network of state groups in 29 states, we know the public agrees. Now, Congress, nearly 50 years ago, when we passed the Clean Water Act, made a promise to the nation that our waters would be safe for swimming. Yet here we are all these years later, and we still have billions of gallons of sewage overflows and runoff pollution, plaguing Lake Erie, plaguing the rivers, including the Mississippi River in Minnesota, plaguing Puget Sound. We need to solve this problem. Just to underscore, last summer in our report, Safe for Swimming, my researchers found widespread fecal bacteria contamination in beaches across America. And in fact, health experts estimate there are 57 million instances of Americans getting sick each year from swimming in our waters. Gastroenteritis, skin rashes, ear infections, etc. This is clearly not what we meant when we said, let's make our waters safe for swimming right here in Congress with the Clean Water Act. Moreover, these problems are likely to get worse with climate change exacerbating storms and flooding. To give you one recent example, a sewage facility that was flooded in Nebraska has been releasing over 1 million gallons of sewage every day since last spring because it's been knocked out of capacity. In addition to these challenges, we now have new challenges facing our wastewater infrastructure, from PFAS to microplastics to pharmaceutical waste. Now, I have to ask you, if the American Society of Civil Engineers has given our wastewater infrastructure a recent grade of D+, how on earth are we going to secure clean water if we don't step it up with dramatically increased funding? EPA estimates that to solve our wastewater problems, it's going to take an investment of $271 billion over the next 20 years. Current levels do not even approach that. But Environment America, along with 20 other organizations, are urging Congress to triple the SRF level up to $6 billion per year so that we can have safe, clean water. But it's not just our waterways that are at risk, it is also our drinking water. And let me talk primarily right now about the threat of lead contamination. Unfortunately, over the course of a century, we built our pipes and a lot of our fixtures with a potent neurotoxin that harms the way that our kids learn, behave, and grow. And now I have to tell you, we have a national epidemic of drinking water contamination by lead. And I don't just mean in communities like Flint or Newark. Researchers have found lead in water at the tap at 2,000 water systems in all 50 states. Rural, suburban, it's everywhere. We know that lead harms the way that our kids develop, so we have got to deal with this problem. To stop this toxic contamination, job one is removing lead service lines. These toxic pipes are the leading source of lead water contamination wherever they are. EPA now estimates there are 9.3 million of them out there. The price tag to remove them all, which health officials say we must do, is now estimated at approximately $45 billion. State and local ratepayers are not going to be able to bear that burden alone. the longer we here in the federal government wait for a substantial investment, the longer our kids are going to be drinking water tainted with lead. And let me assure you that it is our kids, because in fact, our research through our Get the Lead Out campaign has found not just in our homes with lead service lines, but in schools across the country, a high percentage in Washington state, a high percentage in Ohio, and states across the country, lead contamination of drinking water in our schools is pervasive. And I can get you that data from about 20 states that have done various levels of testing so far. We need to help our schools get the lead out so that our kids can learn and grow up safely every day where we send them to learn and grow. How do we do that? Well, schools need to start removing old water fountains that have lead in them and water fountains and put on filters that are certified to remove lead. That's going to take a lot of resources, and schools that are strapped for their budgets are not going to be able to do it alone. So again, this is going to require a substantial, unprecedented federal commitment to say we are not going to tolerate the contamination of our water with a potent neurotoxin that makes our kids sick. Now, I should say lead is not the only problem that we need to face with drinking water. We've heard about PFAS, toxic chemicals and toxic metals getting into our waterways. EPA estimates overall that we're going to need $472 billion over the next 20 years just to maintain our current drinking water infrastructure.
Are you about done?
I'm just about to finish. I just wanted to add, Madam Chairman, if I can, that clean, safe water is the hallmark of advanced society. And for too long, we've taken that for granted, and now America has fallen short. But if we can take this opportunity to make a historic investment in clean water, we can bring back the promise of clean water for all Americans. Thank you.